That's the wrong slide to start out on. There we go. Okay. My name is Andy Smith. I'm presenting what I've done over the semester, and throughout the course of the semester, I have been working on my podcast called Two Dudes, News and Brews. Um, what this is a podcast that has a very open concept. Um, our idea with this was just if you walked into a bar and sat down, ordered a drink, what would you hear? What kind of conversations would you hear? We've tried very hard to keep it that way. We started out trying to have topics, and we realized that as we consumed our brews throughout the course of the podcast, those topics slowly faded away into the back of our minds. So we decided, you know what? There's no topics when you walk into a bar. Why not just keep it completely open? And if we want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. So if somebody wants to talk about people's learning styles and really in-depth conversations like that, we're going to talk about that. If somebody wants to, like in our last podcast, talk about um, an OnlyFans wish list where we talk about some explicit things that we can't even really show on YouTube, then we're going to talk about it because that's the type of things you would hear in a bar. There's no censorship when you walk outside and to a bar full of drunk people. So, with that, why would we do such a thing like that? Um, well, it actually started in a bar. Me and Cole, who is the co host with me, we were sitting at the Chug in Muncie and just talking to each other back and forth. We had already had a few drinks, so we were a little loud, and we noticed that people were listening to us because they would chime in every so often. And that's kind of why we decided, let's do the podcast. That's where the idea was born. And then how it fully started was COVID hit, and I was out of a job, as was Cole. So we decided, we have all of this free time. Why not make something of it? We both want to create things. We both want to do all this stuff. Let's do the podcast. So we started doing it. We started doing it on Zoom once we realized that we wanted a video content with it. Our earlier episode, I think our first two don't actually have video to them, so they're a little not as great. But over the course now, we've actually gained a co-host within the past month, actually, with our friend or my friend Cass. And she's added a very good dynamic to it because she's about the opposite of Cole, and we're really excited to see what that's going to bring. So that's how we started. But what are like the in depths of it? How do you, if you're starting out, what do you do to make a podcast? Because when we started, we didn't know what we were doing, but along the way, we kind of picked up some tricks. So one of the main things that you have to know when doing a podcast or any form of media in this way is you have to be consistent. If you have an upload time, which for us is Thursdays at 6, you have to hit your mark every week and never miss one. If you're not consistent and you put stuff out here and there, it might, catch on with people and the algorithms might push you a little bit. But if you're consistently uploading at a specific time all the time, you're going to start to get noticed, whether it's only by a certain niche amount of people or it goes viral. Consistency is going to not only get you attention, but doing it all the time, you will get better, much like anything else. Another thing that's really big that we started to notice as we moved on is picking topics that you want to talk about. People can tell when you're not interested in the topic. Like if somebody started a podcast about socks and you had some dude come in there and he's like, oh, this sock's blue and it's got a fish on it, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to want to hang around because he obviously doesn't care what he's talking about. This isn't genuine. I don't want to hear what he says. But if somebody comes in, they're like, this sock is made out of this certain type of fabric. It's really soft. There's all these advantages to it. It's got this really bright blue. There's a pufferfish. He starts going into detail and you're like, oh, well, that is a really cool sock, and I want to see what else he has to say about really cool socks. People can tell when you're excited about your own project that you're doing, which is part of the reason why I chose to do this for mine. When I went through and gave out the list of things I wanted to do, everybody told me that I sounded more excited for this and they wanted to see what could come of this. So I figured give the people what they want, you know? Do what people want to see and what you're passionate about. And another big thing that I definitely had to work on with doing a podcast was being more outgoing. People don't want to see somebody who's just going to mumble into the mic and not project themselves and just kind of be a downer. And that's in our early episodes kind of what I was. I didn't say much, I didn't have a lot of energy in it. But over the time, we ended up creating these characters almost. Mine being Two Bottle Andy. The idea of this character is that basically he has the strongest liver in the world because he drinks 2 bottles of whiskey a day. Granted, I don't do that. um, that would hurt me quite a bit, and I probably wouldn't be able to do this right now. But by having that character, it's almost being able to flip a switch in your head to be like, okay, regular Andy's kind of standoffish and a little quiet, but if I use this character, I can make something and kind of almost go on autopilot, which the alcohol does help with going on the autopilot part because in ours, since we don't have a topic, having that character allows me to just shoot off ideas. We pride ourselves on having funny content, and sometimes if somebody says something and you wait too long to think over a joke to it, it loses its mark. It doesn't hit, it's not funny, you can't use that. But having a character that just says whatever he feels like pops into his head, you can hit your mark. And if it doesn't work, then in editing, you can take it out. But it's better to have it that way than to not have it at all. That being said, along with the character, you can have your character all you want, but you still have to be able to open up about what's going on in your life. Um, I've seen a lot of radio people do that, talking about their personal lives and things of that nature. And if you're not going to open up about that, it doesn't become as personable. People are like, well, he doesn't really talk about all of this stuff. It's kind of hard for me to relate. And that's another thing that I'm still kind of struggling with being a host on a podcast, but it is something that helps out a lot to reach your audience better. And the final thing, at least to me, working and trying to make a podcast is the equipment. Because when you go down to it, what you really need to do with it is bare bones. You could probably do it on your phone. A lot of phones have good microphones now. All of them you can record memos on. If you just want to sit there, put it in front of your face and talk out your ideas and then email it to yourself and edit it how you want with some free software, you can easily do that. But the content that you create should be your first priority because if you don't have good content, nobody's going to watch. You can have 4K video with perfect sounding audio and it can still be crap. And nobody, I mean, it might look nice, but nobody's going to want to listen. I would personally rather listen to something that's scratchy, has no video, but has good quality content than somebody who spent a lot of money and has about an hour of dead air out of a hour and a half show. So to kind of summarize what makes a podcast, consistency, making sure you like your topics and you're excited about them, being able to be outgoing on it and put yourself out there, and then once again, consistency. That's what everybody is going to hammer into you, whether you're trying to upload to YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. You have to be consistent with what you're putting out. Now, with all of those tools and all of that, what have we done? How have we used these ideas to build anything? So far, where we are at currently, we have 17 subscribers on YouTube, and we are currently at 13 episodes. The 13th episode will be put out tomorrow. Things got a little behind with me on putting out that episode, so it will be out as soon as possible tomorrow. And I think one of the best ways to see what we've done is our video that is our newest on the channel right now, which is our best of October, and that is a short little clip here.
Hey, Cole.
Yeah, buddy.
Guess what?
What?
We're back.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, is this not?
Go ahead. Sorry, you're right.
He's a big cat. Big boy.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
Look,
Apparently
okay,
trying to
yeah.
drug you.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, look, yeah, well, okay, that
So,
was...
so let's find out what's going on here, Colt. Were you drugged?
Okay. No, I didn't drink the shot, dude.
Why not? It was free.
Yeah,
thought it was
bubblegum moonshine in a little Dixie cup. I'm good.
That
I'm
sounds
not gonna do
safe.
that.
Yeah, she
But-
seems like she's already losing interest. She's got
There
her
was-
switch. She's fine.
There was a...
We just need a girl in here so we can get like all of like the simps to
Just-
come in and watch. Why can't people be simps for us?
Andy, I know...
Simp
I
to
know,
two dudes, news and brews. Come on.
I'm not gonna lie, Pokemon cards are pretty lit, though.
They are.
I found racist beer.
What the
Got the
How
little
is
eye
that
holes.
allowed to be sold? Who the
Why would you need
Drink
this?
who let Jimbo
Well-
get his beer line out in the open?
Wow, that just makes Nickelback even douchier.
Cassidy, let's get a thumbnail. Yeah, so...
What's thumbnail?
A few minutes later. Even more minutes later.
I don't... My shit just froze really bad.
Fuck's gonna remember this podcast or the last one.
Like,
They
live
watch Rick
TV.
Steves.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves.
Oh, God.
It's connected to the cable box.
Oh, so you can
I
watch
know.
Rick Steves Europe.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves.
You shut your whore mouth.
What'd you have?
White Claw and Coronas.
Boy.
So, yeah.
To get the Cougars, you must first drink like the Cougars. Maybe that's
I
why.
never got into
Might be
Friends
because
ever.
like you're
Oh,
Fri-
see, I loved Friends.
I didn't get into it. I love Jennifer
Except
Aniston,
for all
but-
the controversies in Friends. They
What do you
were
mean?
on a break. I 100%
yeah.
like what I
Controversy.
hate is like I stand on Ross's side there, but in the rest of the show, Ross is little who I can't
Oh
stand
yeah.
most of
Ross
the
is
time.
Ross is an the
He just
majority of the
whines
show.
all the time, but he was right about that one thing. Oh.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I never...
That and he had a
watched it,
monkey.
really.
He had a monkey, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty legit. Do you know that it was a massive black church that I was doing it for, and it was for an MLK like weekend thing.
So they didn't have Yellow
Place
Belly beer.
Was packed. No, the place was packed to the brim.
A lot of the really hard work, but getting none of the glory, and you got to
No,
be okay
yeah.
with that.
Nobody
you're-
gives a about the sound guy. It was a choir for cancer survivors that were coming in to do a charity. So like all of them had like survived cancer and everything. And they were doing like guest spots throughout the
Yeah, so what?
show.
Whatever. It's cancer.
Start out as boy, and then you work your way up.
Oh, I've got no problem being boy. In all honesty, I like doing the work. Matt,
But also
never
have a
whip it
sound
out
guy.
live. If you're
Huh?
if you're on a stage, just don't whip it out. Like that's how you get, that's how you
No,
don't get any
I-
more gigs.
That's
just
how
don't
you,
whip it out.
No, whipping it out is how you get a few extra tips in the bucket. Talking about whipping out a good guitar solo, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
good
it
luck.
definitely wasn't penis.
Yeah. No.
Oh, what? What are you talking about, Andy? You're a freaking pervert, dude.
Cole, you said that were the
Didn't say that. Not
Carolinas.
putting that in the podcast. Not putting that in the podcast. I didn't say that. No,
You
I'm
said
not.
that a while back ago, I think. in one
No,
of the
you better
elevator
take your shit out, Andy.
Why?
You better take your shit out. You better cut. No. I
Oh
did.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, what? Nobody. You already said that point. So
Fuck you, Andy.
this was
Oh.
Fuck you.
this was the day that
He's angry because I wouldn't say that I was drunk at the beginning.
I just realized I had the power to mute people. He's not gonna shut up.
Unmute him. I want to hear his beautiful voice.
Oh, I have to ask to unmute. I can't.
I will leave this call. I don't have anything to lose.
Because the bitch didn't actually let the numbing agent work. sit in when she
Oh,
had to
Andy,
take
if you're
the
not
staples.
it's not a big deal.
Can't-
About it.
There's nothing for me
when I hear
emotionally
this
in it.
song, when I hear the song "Bend Over" by Tyga, and I see a woman twerking, it just moves me emotionally. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, but
Cool. That
I
only
just,
happens if she's like at like 45 or above, though.
Do you really have a cougar thing, or do we talk about that here?
yeah, we can talk about that.
You can talk-
Yeah,
His hashtag is Cougar Loving Cole. So
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Die black, you're
It
sick.
gets
Get a nose
floppy
ring.
during the day, and then all of a sudden I'm like, tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. Huh? Nah, I just put it in the kitchen. It's already been delivered. No one's gonna pick it back up.
I want to know what it is.
Thank you.
What is it?
It's
Dude, your
food got
roommate
delivered
sound
to
your
house.
roommate sounds hot, dude. I'm just saying.
So that was our best of section there. That last little bit was is actually a song by Matt Buckner that we had for his guest spot at the end, and I just thought it was nice to add that in as well. But I'm not going to take credit for Matt's stuff. So that's what we have done and where we're kind of at. We still have a ways to go in order to be where I would like it to be, but that's where a lot of things are. So what will we do? Well, right now there are three things that I have been wanting to do for a while with our platform. The first off is merch. Um, the main reason I want to do that is because I really like the design that we have done. Our logo, I initially designed it and then I handed it off to Cassidy, who was the our girl guest that you saw in the video there, as well as our one of the new co-hosts with me and Cole. She designed it and made it look nice as opposed to my crude pencil drawing. And I think that with all that work, it would look great on some merch. Not only that, but it also lets me have money, and I need money. Um, and the second thing is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, not necessarily with the podcast. I've been wanting to do this for if I ever had a platform, which I finally do, and that is do a charity live stream of some sort. What I've been working out so far with it is once all of this COVID stuff is done and we can finally do a in-person uh, episode, is to have myself, Cole, and Cassidy pick a charity and then do a live stream, have people donate, and have different tiers of donation. Like if you donate $10, we all do a shot. If you donate 50, we chug something that falls within the lines of just trying to motivate people to donate to a good cause and a charity to help put back into the world and use this for something that's not just an excuse to drink on a Sunday. And the last thing is something that I've wanted to do outside of this, but I think now having it would be a cool thing to do and open up our demographic, which is figuring out a way to bring in video games, us playing them into the channel. Uh, Cassidy and myself do quite a bit of streaming on Twitch and things like that. And that's a little bit outside of Cole's comfort zone. And I think it would be interesting to see what would happen if we took him out of his little comfort zone and threw him into our world a little bit. I think that not only would it be interesting to watch, but we can grab people who spend the majority of their time watching Twitch streams of video games or YouTube, watching gameplay of that. And if they like that, they can go to the channel. They see that we have podcasts, and then end up getting them that way. Kind of trying to open up our demographic even more than what it already is, and just try to pull more people in. So that's our plans for this future. And here is all of our social media right here. Everything is Two Dudes News and Brews, except for Twitter because they wouldn't let me put and brews. So you can find us at our website, which also has all of our links. And hopefully at some point, we'll also have a merch area so that you can buy things. We also have a newsletter that once we get enough people on there, we will send out a newsletter probably once a month. We're not sure what that will entail yet because we haven't had a meeting about it yet, but It's there, I promise you. And all of our other social medias are just Two Dudes News and Brews. We post whenever we have a video out. Um, I'm trying to work on posting more on our social media, but things with school and things right now are a little crazy, and I don't always have time to do that. Um, Another way to find all of our stuff is with Linktree. Just Linktree, Two Dudes News and Brews. You can find us there, and all of our links are there, as well as our Patreon link, which isn't fully set up yet, but we're working on it. And so I will now end this as I end all of our podcasts. If you liked what you heard here, make sure you go check out the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. If you liked what you saw and you like what you see there, make sure you like all the videos you like. Or if you don't like them, dislike them. It still helps us out. Share it with your friends, hit the notification bell if you like what you're hearing. That way you know when we put new videos out as soon as they hit. And thank you for watching.